You're scrolling on your phone right now. Google search. Instagram algorithm. TikTok's For You page. Every single one runs on algorithms. But here's what they don't tell you. The word algorithm comes from a 9th century Muslim mathematician named Al-Khwarizmi. Without him, there's no Google, no Facebook, no AI, no modern computing. This is the story of how medieval Islamic innovation built Silicon Valley. Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. Baghdad, 820 AD. He worked at the House of Wisdom, the world's greatest research center at the time. This wasn't just a library. It was a massive institution dedicated to translating, preserving, and advancing human knowledge. Scholars from across the world came to study mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. Al-Khwarizmi was one of the greatest minds working there. He wrote a revolutionary book introducing step-by-step procedures for solving mathematical problems. Input, process, output. That's an algorithm, a systematic way to solve problems. When Europeans translated his book centuries later, they couldn't pronounce his name, Al-Khwarizmi. So they Latinized it to algorithm, which eventually became algorithm. The entire concept of computer programming, breaking problems into logical steps and solving them systematically, comes from this one man. Every line of code you've ever seen, every app you've ever used, every program that runs your computer, all built on Al-Khwarizmi's framework from 1,200 years ago. Google's search algorithm? Named after Al-Khwarizmi's systematic method of problem solving. When you type a question into Google, algorithms process billions of web pages in milliseconds, ranking them by relevance using his principles. Facebook's news feed algorithm? Same mathematical foundation. It analyzes your behavior, predicts what you'll engage with, and serves content accordingly. All based on systematic problem solving from 9th century Baghdad. TikTok's addictive For You page? Pure Al-Khwarizmi. The algorithm learns what you watch, calculates what keeps you scrolling, and delivers endless personalized content. That same book by Al-Khwarizmi also invented algebra. The word algebra comes directly from the Arabic al-Jabr in his book's title, the compendious book on calculation by completion and balancing. Algebra is the foundation of all computer programming. Every variable you declare, every function you write, every loop that runs in code, that's algebra in action. Without algebra, you cannot write software. You cannot program computers. You cannot build apps. Al-Khwarizmi gave us both the concept of algorithms and the mathematical tools to implement them. But Muslim mathematicians didn't stop there. They also refined and spread the decimal system we use today, the numbers 0 through 9. These came from India originally, but Muslim scholars improved them and introduced them to Europe. Try programming a computer using Roman numerals. It's completely impossible. You need the decimal system with positional notation and the concept of 0. Muslims brought this to the world. Even binary code, the actual ones and zeros that computers run on at the hardware level, is influenced by Islamic mathematical concepts of positional notation and systematic number representation. They didn't just contribute to modern technology. They built the entire mathematical framework that makes it possible. Let's connect this directly to technology you use every single day. Google search. You type a question. You get millions of results ranked by relevance in 0.3 seconds. How does that work? Algorithms systematically analyzing and ranking web pages. Al-Khwarizmi's method from 820 AD, Netflix recommendations. Because you watched this, try that. Machine learning algorithms analyze your viewing patterns, calculate probabilities, and predict what you'll enjoy watching next. The algebra making those predictions? Al-Khwarizmi. The algorithmic framework? Al-Khwarizmi. Instagram and TikTok. The algorithm decides what appears in your feed, what goes viral, what you see next. It analyzes billions of data points about engagement, preferences, and behavior. Algebraic formulas processing massive amounts of information using systematic problem-solving methods from medieval Islamic mathematics. AI and ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence learning from data and generating human-like responses. At its absolute core, algebraic equations and algorithmic processing, both invented by Muslim scholars over 1,000 years ago. Cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital currencies rely on complex mathematical encryption to secure transactions. Where does cryptography come from? Al-Kindi, a 9th century Muslim scholar working in Baghdad. He wrote the first known book on code breaking and encryption, a manuscript on deciphering cryptographic messages. Every time you use online banking, send an encrypted message, or make a secure purchase online, you're using cryptographic principles he pioneered over 1,200 years ago. Computer graphics, video games, 3D animation, all the visual technology you see in movies and games, these are built on mathematical transformations and geometric calculations. Muslim mathematicians during the Islamic Golden Age pioneered advanced geometry and trigonometry that makes modern computer graphics possible. GPS navigation in your phone or car. It calculates your exact position using signals from satellites and complex trigonometric formulas. That trigonometry, developed by Muslim astronomers like Al-Battani and Al-Biruni, who mapped the heavens with incredible precision. Your smartphone camera, the lens technology, the way light is captured and focused. All of this traces back to Ibn al-Haytham, an 11th century Muslim scientist who invented the camera obscura and revolutionized our understanding of optics. He proved that light travels in straight lines, explained how the human eye works, and laid the foundation for all modern photography, cameras, telescopes, and microscopes. Without Ibn al-Haytham's work on optics, there would be no modern photography, no cinema, no computer vision, no facial recognition technology. Literally everything running on your phone traces back to medieval Islamic innovation from over 1,000 years ago. Even the coffee you might be drinking right now while watching this video. Coffee was first cultivated and popularized by Muslims in Yemen in the 15th century before spreading to the rest of the world. Silicon Valley, the global center of technological innovation, runs on algorithms, algebra, cryptography, optics, and coffee. Every single one of these is an Islamic innovation. Here's the irony that nobody wants to talk about. After the September 11th attacks in 2001, the dominant narrative became Islam versus the West, medieval religion versus modern civilization, backwards thinking versus progress. Politicians and media figures called Muslims backwards, stuck in the past, anti-science, incompatible with modernity. But look at the actual facts. Your iPhone? Powered by Islamic mathematics from the 9th century. Your Google search? Named after a Muslim mathematician's systematic method. Your online security, keeping your bank account safe? Built on Islamic cryptography. Your GPS guiding you to your destination? Using Islamic trigonometry and astronomy. Silicon Valley, the pinnacle of modern Western technological achievement, exists because of the Islamic Golden Age. It's built on a foundation laid by Muslim scholars in Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo, and Cordoba between the 8th and 14th centuries. And here's what makes this even more remarkable. While Muslim scholars were inventing algebra and algorithms in 820 AD, Europe was deep in the Dark Ages. No universities existed in Europe. No hospitals. No organized scientific research. No preservation of ancient knowledge. It took Europe over 500 years to even begin learning from Islamic scientific texts. The Renaissance, Europe's great rebirth of learning and culture, happened specifically because Europeans finally gained access to Islamic knowledge through Spain, Sicily, and the Crusades. They translated Arabic scientific works into Latin and suddenly had access to advanced mathematics, medicine, astronomy, and philosophy. Every single programmer working today, whether they know it or not, is using tools and concepts invented by Muslims 1,200 years ago. But the education system doesn't teach this. History textbooks jump from ancient Greece and Rome directly to the European Renaissance, completely skipping the 700 years of Islamic scientific dominance that actually made the Renaissance possible. The device in your hand, the apps you use daily, the technology running modern civilization, all built on Islamic innovation. Al-Khwarizmi, Ibn al-Haytham, Al-Kindi. These names should be as famous as Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg. Because without these Muslim scholars, none of those tech giants would have had anything to build on. Subscribe to Chronicles of the Faith for more untold stories. Comment algorithm below. The Islamic Golden Age built Silicon Valley. It's time people knew the truth.